Hare Krishna. So, we are continuing first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Last time we completed 15th verse, and before we go into the chapters, I hope everyone knows that yesterday was Akshaya Tritiya, and from yesterday in all ISKCON temples they've started, they start Chandan Yatra starts. So, where they apply chandan. On the first day, they apply chandan. It depends. I think in Vrindavan, every day they apply chandan to the big deities like Shishisa, Radhashyam Sundar, to Krishna there. So, it will continue for some days, Chandan Yatra. Okay, so you can visit during this time. You can visit your nearest ISKCON temple, or you might already be involved in it, and you can do service like for applying chandan in the temple hall. They have they will, like, you can make that chandan, that thing. They'll have that board and they'll give you the chandan, this one, and water, and you can. What do they say in Hindi? चंदन घिसना जो बोलते हैं ना, that okay. So we'll continue Bhagavad Gita. Just share my screen. Yeah, last time we completed 15th verse. So this is the first chapter, observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. We saw that it started with Dhritarashtra speaking to Sanjay, and then Sanjay is relating what's happening on the battlefield. And we discussed, or we saw how Duryodhan went to Dronacharya and was discussing and started discussing in the political arrangement and all that, arrangement of the army, and then started praising, giving the specific names of the great warriors on both the sides, and then they started blowing conch shells. It was specifically mentioned in the 15th verse that the conch shells blown by Krishna, Arjuna, and others, followed by others. It was it kind of shattered the heart of the other side, like the Duryodhan side. So further it's given, this is 1.16 to 18. Others also blew their conch shells. Who will read? Kirtan Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji. 1.60 Bhagavad Gita 1.16 to 18. अनंत विजयं राजा कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषं मणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्च पराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान्दामुद्मुः पृथक् पृथक्. Words translation also you have to read.
Yes, Mataji.
Synonyms. Antavijayam, the conch names Antavijaya, Raja, the king, Kunti Putraha, the son of Kunti, Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira, Nakula, Nakula, Sahadeva, Sahadeva, Cha, and Sughosha, Mani Pushpakau, the conch's name Sughosha and Muni Pushpaka, Kashaya, the king of Kashi Varanasi, Cha, and Parama Ishu, the great archer, Shikhandi, Shikhandi, Cha, also Maharatha, one who can fight alone against thousands. Drishtadumna, Drishtadumna, the son of King Draupada. Virata, the prince who gave shelter to the Pandavas while they were in disguise. Cha also Satyaki, the name as Yuyudhana, the charioteer of Lord Krishna. Cha and Aparajitaha, who had never been vanquished. Draupada, the king of Panchala. Draupadeyaha, the sons of Draupadi. Cha also, Sarvashaha all. Prithvi Pate, O king. Saubhadraha Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra. Cha also, Mahabahu, the mighty arm. Shankhan conch shell. Gadmoho blue. Pratak Pratak, each separately. Translation: King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell. The Ananta Vijaya and Nakula and Savadeva blew the Sughosha and Mani Pushpaka. The great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadimna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Draupada, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as mighty arm, son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. Shall I read the purport, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Purport. Sanjay informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. The signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle, beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to his grandsons like Abhimanyu and other, including the kings from many states of the world. All were present there, and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So in the previous words, Krishna first blew his conch shell, then Arjuna, then Bhima's name was mentioned. Then everybody else also blew, like the names of the conch shells is given. King Yudhishthir blew his conch shell, which is named Ananta Vijaya. Then Nakula and Sahadev, other two Pandavas, they blew Sughosha and Manipushpaka, their conch shells. And king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadumna, Virata, Satyaki, Drupada. Drupada is the father of Draupadi. The sons of Draupadi, the 5 sons of Draupadi and others. So everybody blew their respective conch shells. Now in the purport, Prabhupada mentions Sanjay informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. So that is what Dhritarashtra wanted to know when he inquired from Sanjay that what did they do. So that is very obvious that they have assembled in the battlefield. That means they are going to fight. Now understanding the mood or the thought process of Dhritarashtra, Sanjay also tactfully informed that and also if you see here, it's mentioned King Yudhishthir. So he was not a king yet, but it was known that because the Pandavas are going to be victorious. Earlier, previous verse again we saw there were specific some symptoms of how the Pandavas are going to be victorious. We saw like Lord Krishna himself was present. Then about the conch shells, they are described as transcendental. Then it was mentioned goddess of fortune never leaves the side of Lord Vishnu. So Krishna is present. So goddess of fortune means all fortune, victory, everything is present on the side of Pandavas. And also there was mention of the special chariot given to Arjun by Agni Dev. So all those were mentioned. The signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle. Beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to the grandsons like Abhimanyu and others, including kings from many states of the world, all were present there and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his son. So Dhritarashtra knew very well that the Pandavas were the rightful heir to the throne. Yudhishthira was the right person to be enthroned. But he had his own motive that, okay, my son should become the king. He knew that they were that it was wrong, but still that I mean, how Duryodhan and all tried to always get rid of the Pandavas and all. He knew everything, but still he kept quiet, or because he also had the motive that yes, my son will be the king. So that's why it's mentioned the whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. Okay, then we'll go to the next verse. Nisha Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita 1.19. Saghosho Dhritarashtra Hridayani Vedaryat Nabhascha Prithvi Chaiva Tumulo Bhyanu Dayan Shah, that Ghosha, vibration. Dhritarashtra, son of the Dhritarashtra, Hridayani hearts, Vedaryat, shattered, Nabha, the sky, Cha, also, Prithvim, the surface of the earth, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Tumla, uproarious, Abhayanunadyan, resounding, translation. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Purport. When Bhishma and the others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shell, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but in this particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of the Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas' party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So the blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious. So everybody blew conch shells one by one. So vibrating both in the sky and on the earth, it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Okay, now it is mentioned. Sorry, I told that previous it was mentioned. And now it's mentioned that how these conch shells sounded on the side of Pandavas. It shattered the hearts of Dhritarashtra, sons of Dhritarashtra. Sorry. Purport: when Bhishma and others on the side of Duryodhan blew their respective conch shells, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. There is nothing mentioned about it. So, such occurrences are not mentioned, but in this particular verse, it is mentioned the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas' party. And why is that? It's due to the Pandavas and their confidence. It's due to because Pandavas themselves were all devotees. They were all pious as devotees. More than that, they were devotees, and they had full confidence in Lord Krishna. And Prabhupada mentions this statement, which is very important for us to remember and to apply. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear. Prabhupada's name, what do we write? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So A.C. means what? Abhay Charan. So Abhay Charanaраvinda, his name was Abhay Charan De, and his spiritual master gave almost the same name, Abhay Charanaраvinda. So uh, um, um, means one who has taken shelter of the Lord has nothing to fear. He becomes abhay, he becomes fearless, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. And that we can practically see in the life of the Pandavas, in the life of so many devotees. I think in today's thought for the day, there was example of Prahlad Maharaj, if I'm not wrong, how he was put into so much of difficulty and all by his own father, by his own father. Then what to talk about anybody else? But he was fixed. He was fixed in his devotional service. Same here with the Pandavas. Now, what happens with us? We are doing bhakti. Something happens, some disastrous, unexpected. Okay, I meet with an accident and I somebody dies in the accident, or something happens. I break my I broke my bone or something like that, fracture or something. Then we start questioning. Oh, I'm devotee, I'm practicing this, why this happened to me? And sometimes as per our own karma, we might have uh, got some severe reaction, so we start questioning why this happened to me, why the Lord is so cruel. But we can see here from the example of the Pandavas, practically from their very early age, very when they were small kids, King Pandu left his body. So then Kunti Devi, she um, brought the sons up, and of course Bhishma Dev and all, they were there. But from the very beginning, Duryodhan was very much envious of the Pandavas. So the Pandavas, like specifically Bhima, they were given this poisonous cake or something, and then when they were grown up also, their kingdom, they were not given back the kingdom. They were tried to put into the burned in the house of lac. They escaped that, of course, by the mercy of the Lord. And then they were in so many ways. Finally, was this um, gambling match where Yudhishthir Maharaj, he lost, and that was also kind of cheating as far as I heard. I do not know properly. And then Draupadi was insulted, and so many, So, but all the while, if we see, when they were going through all these difficulties also, they never lost faith. There was no thought that, oh, I'm a devotee, why doesn't Krishna come and help me? Why does Krishna put me through all these things? There was not a single thought like that. They had full confidence. They had to stay in exile, in incognito, and but they had full confidence in Krishna. And that is what, if you see in a life of any great devotee, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, sometimes only very special devotees, very dedicated, pure devotees, they are put through difficulties to Krishna. Knows that, okay, they are my pure devotees. So sometimes he uses those devotees to exhibit to the whole world how his devotees are. So in one sense, even by seeing these characteristics of Pandavas, that how they went through so many troubles and so many difficulties from a general point of view, but they had full faith on Krishna, which is like glorification of their, it glorifies their characteristics as devotees. And here also, Krishna, by just his willing, the all these demoniac kings could be vanquished. But he wanted Arjuna. Further also, we will see in the Bhagavad Gita, he himself says that you become Nimitta Matra, and he wanted Arjuna to get the credit. Actually, Krishna is doing everything, but he wanted to give that credit to Arjuna. So, who becomes the hero of the whole Mahabharata, of the whole battle of Kurukshetra? Arjuna becomes the hero. But actually, it was all done by Krishna. It was all arranged by Krishna. So, one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear even in the midst of the greatest calamity. Okay, we'll go to the next verse, 20th verse. Okay, I know Pramila Mataji, you are mostly in office work, but are you available right now to read? I'm just asking. If not, then Kirtan Mataji, can you read this verse?
Yes, Mataji. Bhagavad Gita 1.20. अथ व्यवस्थि यथ व्यवस्थिता दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदमाह महीपते. Atha thereupon Vyavasthitan situated Drishtva looking upon Dhritarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Kapidvaja, he whose flag was marked with Hanuman, Pravatte, while about to engage, Shastra Sampatti in releasing his arrows, Dhanu bow, Udyama taking up, Pandava, the son of Pandu, Arjuna, Rishikesham unto Lord Krishna, Tada at that time, Vakyam words, Idam these, Aha said, Mahipate, O king. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in the military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord these words. The battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama in the battle between Rama and Ravana. Lord Rama emerged victorious. Now both Rama and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Ram himself, and wherever Lord Ram is, his eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore, Arjuna has no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions, arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee, lay the signs of assured victory.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, now, till now we saw what was the scene on the battlefield, how they started blowing their conch shells, and what was the instant feeling once the conch shells were blown, like Duryodhan's side they were disheartened, or their hearts were shattered, like that it was mentioned in the previous verse. And now at that time, so after everybody was blowing their conch shells and the battle was about to begin, what happens? Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman. So there is some pastime behind that. We'll not go into it now. But on the chariot of Arjuna, they have this flag. So on that flag, Hanuman's his image was there, and practically Hanumanji was present in one sense. Now he took up his bow. Arjuna took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. So, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the battle was just about to begin, and we could see that the sons of Dhritarashtra, they were kind of disheartened to see that huge military force of the Pandavas, and there are a few more signs of victory on how the Pandavas are going to be victorious. So that is mentioned. The emblem of Hanuman and the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with, now in the Treta Yuga, Hanumanji he cooperated with Lord Ram to get Sita Maya back from Lanka. So that whole pastime is there. So, and Lord Ram emerged victorious. Now, both Ram, because Ram is, Lord Ram is avatar of Lord Krishna only. So, Krishna himself and Hanumanji, who is his devotee. So, both are present on the side of Arjuna on his chariot. And apart from that, earlier also we saw that goddess of fortune Lakshmi ji, or here if we see Mother Sita, is also present along with, always present along with Lord Ram. So Krishna is on the side of the Pandavas, is practically on his chariot. So goddess of fortune or Mother Sita is also present on the side of the Pandavas. Therefore Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. So Krishna, practically, if you see the cover page of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is sitting on the chariot, and Krishna is his charioteer, chariot driver. Is practically the Lord, that supreme Lord, whom for us we go to the temple, we may take darshan of the Lord in the temple. That same Lord, he was present personally with Arjuna, and he became the chariot driver of Arjuna. So, above all, the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotees lay the signs of assured victory. A common person, one may take birth as in a particular circumstances, kind of a body, kind of a our sense organs, a kind of different whatever kind of surroundings or situations or particular body we get in this material world, it is as per our own previous karmas. But for a devotee, now it depends upon to the extent of a devotee is surrendered actually. So for a pure devotee, Krishna personally, he's like a pure devotee, is like a puppet in the hands of the Lord. So everything is just like Srila Prabhupada. When he was going to the West, he suffered from 2 heart attacks, and I think on the sea itself he wrote 2 poems, two prayers, I think, not poems, prayers. It is mentioned in the Vaishnava song book also, and in one of them he mentions, you make me dance, you have brought me here, you make me dance, something like this, you make me dance, you make me dance. So practically pure devotees are like puppets in the hands of Krishna. So personally Krishna, so here also we see Arjuna being his pure devotee, he was being personally guided and personally instructed, and personally Krishna himself was present with him. And do you know, we also have Krishna with us all the time, but the thing is we don't realize, we are not so pure like Arjuna to actually realize that Krishna is. Now how many times I have told Krishna and how many times we have heard Krishna here, we read and as well as we are discussing, we heard the name Krishna. So every time we heard, we remembered Krishna is personally present, because in this Kali Yuga he comes in the form of Nama Avatara, in the form of the holy names. But how much have you realized that yes, he is really present? So Krishna is present, he is doing his part. Of course, he is the Supreme Lord, he plays his role perfectly. But the problem is that we are not following the footsteps of Arjuna. We have to become pure devotees so that we can actually perceive the presence of the Lord. Okay, with this I'll stop here. We completed till which verse? 20th verse. Okay, perfect. So if anybody has any points to add, Matajis, or you have any questions, then please feel free. You can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat box. Hare Krishna. Or you can mention a specific point what we discussed in these verses.
Krishna Mataji read it now.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Manat Pranam.
Today, after reading from book Sri Lashla Gurudev thoughts also, and I heard a lecture also. So everywhere and also in this class, it is the same point is being highlighted that in the pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, like the Haridas Thakur, they had a lot of tolerance. Like neophyte devotees like us, like me, they don't have that much tolerance. That part is being highlighted. So we have to become more tolerant. So this is I am trying to get it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that point. And yes, it is true. They had so much of tolerance and they just Prahlad Maharaj, Pandavas, and as you mentioned, Haridas Thakur. That is so true. But yeah, in our present state, we are like something happens, we have big doubt. We have bags of doubts, so many doubts, this doubt and that doubt. Why this happened? Why that happened? I'm a devotee. So pure devotee is state is like he doesn't think himself as a devotee. We see the example of Haridas Thakur. Okay, we see a recent even example of Prabhupada's sister. Um, she would wherever she would sit, when she would get up, she would clean that place, thinking that okay, I sat on that place, so it is now contaminated. So she would clean that place. But I practically know myself. There's so much of pride that yes, I'm a devotee and I'm a, kind of, so that humility is also very important in our spiritual life. Thank you so much, Mataji, for mentioning that particular point about tolerance. Hare Krishna. Anybody else, Mataji? Nisha Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandvat Pranam. I want to add one point here that earlier I was not aware about, I just have bhakti in Krishna, but now I started reading books about him, which is available in the library, like Krishna, the Godhead. And now I'm realizing the some of not much but a little points about him, what is him, why he is called the supreme godhead. So little patience, not like some of my questions are being answered by the books only, and I'm feeling very happy now.
Yeah, that's very nice. So you're reading from ISKCON library, you mean to
Yes,
say?
Mataji.
Yes, that's very nice. Yes, actually, Prabhupada, now there's books, what we are reading, Bhagavad Gita we are reading by Prabhupada, any of the books by Prabhupada. Practically, Prabhupada is present. He's speaking. He mentioned that I will live in my books, like, his books are like, he's present in his books. When we are reading this, we are actually coming in direct association with Prabhupada in one sense. So yeah, when we have some question, most of the time this happens. This is so amazing that we might have some doubt or question, and many times it has happened with me also. When I read the thought for the day, or I read a book, Prabhupada's books or something, those questions are answered. So that is very nice